My pet cat Snuffles had a habit of staying in the attic for an extended periods of time. It wasn't unusual for her to be up there so late on a night when I wanted to go to bed. However, if I didn't commit to the usual routine of kicking her out for the night, she would at some point, usually around 3 a.m., come to my room, hop on my bed, and meow in my face until I woke up to stroke her. I had work tomorrow. For her to do this would be very much of an inconvenience. She was always a smart cat. She had this really funny way of climbing down ladders when she would roll around the first step down the free, scraping claws, and then jump off the rest until she would land with a fairly heavy thump. I decided to lure her down from the attic to her usual favorite toy, a small ball covered in a tuft of feathers with a jingly bell at the end. The jingles have drove her completely crazy, and I knew that she would hear it, would come down scuttling across the attic to try and catch the toy. The string was long enough for me to chuck it up there, but I knew she wouldn't be able to see or grab onto it. I couldn't just go up there, as for one cat hated being picked up, so trying to get her down that way was pointless, as well as half climbing the ladder and playing with the cat was a hazard waiting to happen. I walked beneath the attic hole and tried on the light switch. I watched the room above flash like lightning before the bulb burst and it was left in darkness. Wonderful, I muttered to myself. I knew the light bulb was going to break at some point. It had been a while since it had been last changed, so I wasn't worried. I got a hold of the stick of the toy before fingering or flinging up the thing in the attic. I heard a soft thud and jingle as the toy collided with the floor. Then it wiggled around a bit. Jingle, jingle, jingle. I took a couple of moments. Then I heard it, the sound of soft scuttling of paws across the floorboards. I knew my cat would have taken the bait. She always did. The sound stopped when they had reached the midway point of the attic. Then it was replaced by a loud pound and some scratching. I tried to pull the toy like you would a fishing rod so I could bait her, but it was stuck. I was assumed it would latch onto my cat's paw as she played around with it. I could still hear the constant jingling and every so often another thud. Feel free to come down anytime soon, I chuckled quietly to myself, tugging on the toy, finding my cat surprisingly strong, and at the end it wouldn't budge. I needed to lead her down to the opening of the attic. Then, as usual, she would get the hint and come down on her own. Meow! I'd recognize that sound from anywhere. My beloved Snuffles. Meow! I get the point, Snuffles. Just come down here already, I told her, before I felt something soft and fluffy circle my ankles. I looked down to see Snuffles presenting herself up against my skin, meowing at me. What the? I looked back up into the darkness, and I could still hear the scratching and the faint jingling of the toy, as something was still playing with it. I looked back at my cat, whose eyes were dilated as they looked towards the opening. Then, suddenly, I watched and all the hairs of her back stood up, and she hissed at the ceiling. I dropped the hold of the toy and hung into the air, attached to whatever was holding it. Then there was silence. I could hear my heart thumping, and in my head, for a moment I was frozen to the spot. Snuffles was bolted. Then the scratchy came closer to the edge. It was heavier, now like if someone was using its nails to drag itself across the floor. I didn't even look to see what it was as I ran down the stairs, hearing something clonk against the metal of the ladder, like if it was trying to pull itself down. I heard its nails scraped against the metal, and I was out of the door by the time it had hit the second floor with every loud bang. I rushed to my neighbor's house and called the police, and there was no way I was going back in that house with that thing. When they finally arrived there was no sign of anything inside my house. I could have believed I was just imagining things. Except that I found the cat toy, covered in some kind of black oozy liquid, and my floorboards completely shredded. And that, my little pretties, was The Cat in the Attic, a creepypasta written by A.Nightfire. My final thoughts on the story. I really thought this story was a pretty epic creepypasta for what it is. It's a well made story. I really do find this one to be rather amazing for how well this story went out. Now, this is like an older story because I've seen a few people narrate this story and they really like it. But the oldest narration I could find was by Captain Creepypasta, who read this back 7 years ago. And I think Orb Weaver or something, as well as Smooshkins or something like that. Like, I mean, a few people have narrated this story, so I mean, it's an older pasta, so that's probably why. But I really have to say, I do like how this story went out. It's a very well made creepypasta. It has a really well made time and effort into the story, as well as the good grammar, the sentence structuring. And I do like how this story had a good thing going for her. I really do find this story to have a really well made concept, and it's really well made in detail. Now, this is like something that it was pretty freaky. Seeing that they fought whatever the creature was up there. I have a feeling it might have been some paranormal monster or something, or some evil spirit or something like that living up there. So that's what I'm assuming what lived in the attic, and the protagonist thought it was their cat when it wasn't. This story, honestly, was something I never expected to, well, see. So I definitely have to say it's a well made story. I really found this one to be, really good and well made in the detail. I do find this story to have like a very good concept for what this is, as well as the good grammar, the good sentence structuring, the storyline. I mean, I would honestly would like it if they expand on, what was actually up there or something, cuz that's the way the story would have been easier, but it would also help out with the story a lot more. Now that's probably just me though, but yeah, I mean, with that being said, it's just it's your guys' opinion, so you are free to state your own opinions on, what you think of the story and etc. So, like I'm gonna say right now, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of the story is a 10 out of 10. It's a great creepypasta. It's definitely well made. There's a lot of time and effort into the story. However, the only thing I would have to say that I didn't really to put it bluntly, the one thing that didn't really make sense was like what kind of monster was up there? Like, was it paranormal? Was it, actually someone or something up there? Like, that actually leaves me a question in the story is what was actually up in the attic? Maybe if the protagonist goes into detail on it, then I think it would be more believable in a sense, but it would actually give us an idea of what it is. But as we don't know, what kind of monster lives up there or something, all we could just literally do is just, well, use our imaginations. That's all we can really do. Unless the author manages to, state in the story or something. I mean, if the author manages to find this video, maybe he or she could state in the comments because, I like to hear what they have to say. Anyways, what did you guys think about this story? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.